Hello guys, and welcome to our very first basic Python tutorial video. In this series we will be covering all the Python basics needed to become a basic Python developer and solve a few problems that require these basic skills. In this video we'll first work with strings, and next video we will be working out with integers and floats. So let's start the video. Now if you are working with PyCharm, then stick with us throughout the whole video. Otherwise, if you are working with other Python IDLEs like VS Code, Eclipse, Spider, or the original Python IDLE, then you would have to go to another video specific to your IDLE. Then go back to the tutorial. Now, for those of you who don't know what Python is, it is a high-level programming language that might be hard to understand at first. But once you keep going with our series, you'll understand most of the Python lines that other programmers did. But for those of you who don't know what is coding in general, I recommend going for an easier programming languages like block coding or HTML, just to get an easier idea of what coding is. Before going to Python going to the Python tutorials, you have to do these first, so to just get an idea. And we will start our Python command by typing our first string in Python. So our first thing, as many others who start Python, we first have to type print and put quotation marks, double quotes or single quote, doesn't matter. Unless you're doing as this, then you have to use the double quotation. And there's another way anyways. So what we are gonna do is type hello world. So this is what will come up as a result. In general, what will happen is that when we print hello world, it will write the text that's inside the hello world with the double quotation and put them in here as hello world. This is called the command right there. Now we can do a few now you can write anything you want, like for example this school is cool. I'm just putting an example anyways. And you can write whatever you want, literally. You can write Jack and Beanstalk. You can write whatever you want, unless if you are working in PyCharm, you have to avoid these lines, otherwise it won't work for some reason. Now there's another way of doing this method. You can take away the quotations, and we're going to be start to work with variables. Now variables is something that you can store anything with it. You can store strings, you can store integers, you can store booleans, you can store dictionaries, you can store lists, sets, tuples, anything you wish for. Variables just are the magic key to anything you want. Now what we can do here is type x. You can just put a name to the variable. Type hello world. We're going to be using hello world as an example. And I print x. And what will happen is it will type hello world. Now, what if you put that variable in a quotation mark? It won't even count. It will just write x. That's all it is, which is this variable, and just writes x. So don't put it. So when you're putting a variable on a print, do not put it as a quotation mark. Do not put it on double quotation marks. Let's see, what do we have also? Oh, now there are other sorts of things that we can do with strings. For example, we can put all the strings to uppercases. So what will happen here is that anything stored inside the variable, which is x, it will all be capitalized as shown here. And it's the same way if you want to put it on lower. Hold on, let me just... Now, in here you see two capital letters, right? Well, if you see in the command line, as we put the lower on, dot lower on, we can put hello world. These are called functions. Anything you can do. Anything you can do using functions. Now there's also there will be booleans that you could do. In general, there's is upper, which will check if all the strings in the variable is true. And see, it's false. Not all of them are in lowercase. But if we put dot upper and then we put dot is upper, it'll become true. So first do this function, then this function. Pretty simple. What was else was there? And it also works the same way for the lowercase as it also. Let's see, what do we have? Oh, and also you can put new lines. So let's try this one first. We'll put hello world, or let's put quotation marks first. Then we put this, and we say hello. Now what I'm gonna do here is put a \n, and we'll put world. Now this won't do anything bad. In general, what it does, if it detects an n, it will act like this. It'll basically act like this. It'll become print hold up hello, print world. Sorry. So if we put this in general, it'll become hello world, hello world. They both act the same way, but this is just to reduce the amount of lines, just to make it more neater, because that's what coders do. Now what if we wanted to put a /, like, no, sorry. But does it also work on the variable? Let's try it out. We'll put x and put, oh sorry, there. Let's see what it can do. Yep, it's also going to be the same. This x will be stored in the print, which means nothing will go wrong. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah. What if you had like just a single slash? You wanted to write something like he's awesome. Now when you put this single quote in here, it will just put he. And that's the problem in general. But if we want to put a quotation, we will have to put this. And we have put the quotation mark. Now let's see what will happen. And we'll type he's awesome. Now it's not really that recommended. I recommend you go for the double quote, because it is so much easier and more relaxing to do. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully in the next video we will go through we'll go into through integers and floats and how do they work. Okay, thank you so much. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.